I am going to talk about the pros and cons of some of this stuff and what works, what doesn't work, and so hopefully you can make the right decisions for your needs to figure out what works the best for you. I started with one thought and I just kind of expanded to include cameras, digital cameras, video cameras, iPhone, tripods, different types of cameras, ancient cameras, and other equipment to help record and make videos. You don't need all this stuff. I am going to talk about the pros and cons of some of this stuff and what works, what doesn't work, and so hopefully you can make the right decisions for your needs to figure out what works the best for you. I've watched a lot of videos trying to solve some problems I had with recording the best videos and trying to make sure that my viewers can see what I'm doing, to be able to understand what I'm doing, to learn from what I'm doing, and to try to stay in the screen. And I have just been trying so many things, and so I have this collection of stuff, and really, you don't need all of this, okay? So just watch the video and you'll get a feel for what I'm going to talk about in this video. Hopefully you will find it very useful. Here's a box of family memories over the years. I am in the process of having everything digitized online, and these are the ones that are done so far. We just sent in another batch about this size. We're doing our VHS first because they're the ones, the oldest and most likely to break down. Once we get those done, then I work on these, and I have them organized. Like this is 1995, this is 1994, and then it gets newer. I have the time when we were in Guam, when we did a high school play, 1999, 2004, 2005, 2003. It goes to the more current stuff at the bottom, of different places that we've lived. And I'm working on digitizing all of this to preserve the family memories. I was introduced to VHS tape in 1994, and I guess I got hooked. So I've been recording video all of my children's lives, and I'm continuing on it with my YouTube channel. We can't watch those tapes anymore, so my husband purchased this old, it's actually quite nice, and we can use it to play back and see what's on the tape. But I do label all my tapes so I know what the dates are and what the content is. Man, this camera is big. We've had bigger ones over the years. The one that I use is very small. These older cameras have a lot of features on it. And it has a menu, you don't need a lot of these fade in and fade out features. It's got some features down here. You can add a title. I don't like to do that because you do all that with editing programs. So you don't have to have a lot of features. You just need to have good sound, good picture, the ability to record, and to be able to transfer to your computer. Some features on it. I actually copied some of them onto my computer movie program to see if I could use it. The camera that I'm recording with looks very much like this. This is actually an older one, but I still use it from time to time. It's high definition, very lightweight, very easy. It's a little camcorder. The only thing I don't like about this camera, the one that I'm holding right here in front of you, is that when you turn it on, you have to wait a while for the light to adjust. So sometimes, especially at night in the house, if you're recording, everything is kind of orange the first few moments of recording, which you forget because you want to go on with your recording, and so it kind of ruins a lot of film. And I just hate it. You might even see some of my videos on YouTube. They start off kind of orange until they adjust to the light. So I prefer the camera that I'm recording with. I just switched. You can tell right away. See how clear and bright? The lighting is so much better. That's the only reason I don't use this camera as often. I still use it sometimes, because sometimes I want two cameras to capture something, and so it's useful, and it's great. It does take good quality pictures, but the one problem is waiting for it to adjust to the current lighting situation. And it works really good for outside shots too. It's got a huge battery on it, which makes it a little bit heavier. So you can see the difference in size. The little hand camera, and this one, oh, it's heavy. Okay, I'm gonna weigh this. This camera weighs 10 ounces, very lightweight. This camera weighs, oh my goodness, 5 pounds, 8 ounces. So that can get a little heavy carrying it around. And here's another camera, which is even bigger. Let's weigh that baby and see how much she weighs. What a bulky camera. 2 pounds and 12 ounces. It's like you practically need two hands to hold it because it's so big and heavy. But I can remember the cameras from back in 1984. They were so big, you have to set them on your shoulder. That big one, that's not a digital camera, right? That's a VHS camera?
Compact VHS.
Compact VHS. So it uses these things. We have one actually not even opened that can be recorded still. And that fits in, and then there's an adapter where you put this in a VHS, but VHS players are kind of going extinct, so that's useless. So we've got to get all of our videos transferred to digital. So that's a VHS. This one, this Sony here, it uses these things. What are these called?
8mm.
8mm. So it uses 8mm. Let me show you how to load it. There's a button you push. Oops. Okay. When the door's open, you just wait, and it comes up and it opens up, and then you take it out, and this is what the tape looks like. So it's still kind of a film tape that goes round and round like a ribbon. And I have to push this together, oops, and then wait, and it will go down by itself. Then we close it, and that's the bottom side of the camera. This is a Sony. I do love Sony products. My favorite camera is not this one, Canon. The one I'm recording with is a Sony. What brand is this? Panasonic, I think? Yeah, this one's a Panasonic. It's huge, it's bulky. I don't know that we've ever recorded anything with this camera.
No,
I suppose we could, since we're going to digitize everything, just to see the quality of it.
What do you use for playback?
Yeah. So we bought them so that we're able to play back our old movies. But we're in the process of digitizing everything. Here is one of those VHS adapters so that you can play these movies. And you just take it and, see if I can remember how. Wait. There we go. We open it up, take our tape, and the ribbon is going to play on this end. Okay, I see there's a slot here. and a little peg right there, so that has to go in there like that. See how the door opens? All right, now when I close this, when I close it, you'll see that the ribbon, it picks up the tape, and it's going to play just like a regular VHS. But we don't have a working VHS player. Matter of fact, we still have a bunch of VHS movies that we absolutely love. They're classics, but we need to buy them in DVD so we can dump all of the VHS tapes, because over time the VHS tapes don't work. So it's just going to play it just like a regular VHS tape. And now to remove. Okay. And it's these little bars that slide up that they pick up the tape and just put it right up there. And that's how that works. But we don't use this anymore. I do want to keep the family memory, so we're not going to keep them in this format. We're going to digitize everything. Each camera has its own carrying case. Oops. Cover back on. And the charging stuff, which I'm actually charging it right now because I'm going to record something on this video, because I found a tape that had something recorded on it that I hadn't seen, and I didn't even remember that it was recorded, from about 11 years ago. So I want to actually go and record the same content with the same camera in 2022, just to be able to put them side by side on the video, and to just look at the quality of its recording. But then I still have to digitize it. So all the charging components go in there. And this has a much wider case. And when we bought these, I think, where did we buy it? Amazon? Secondhand?
eBay.
eBay. Okay, we got both of these on eBay and mainly my husband bought them just so we could watch our home videos. Well, since we're talking about cameras, I might as well just go through all of them. These are memory cards. I put a date on them to keep record of what they are. It's actually old content that I've recorded that I have yet to make a video on. So I have so much content, I don't have time to edit it all. So I have some really old stuff. Can never have too many memory cards. This is my favorite digital camera. It's a Sony. I can do video recording with this one, but I have not quite mastered how to do that. I usually get the lighting all wrong. There's so much I don't know about this camera. But I do love it, and I love to take photos. When I see something that's beautiful, especially in nature, I love to photograph. I also have a zoom lens adapter to go with it. I think I bought this off of a friend over Facebook. And it's been a good camera that has served me well. Only problem is the door doesn't stay shut anymore, so I have to put a piece of duct tape on to hold it. But other than that, it takes awesome photos, and I've done a lot of work with it. When you do a lot of photography, it's always a good idea to have an extra battery. So I have two batteries. One's in here and one's in there. So this is the charger. I just plug it into the wall. Whenever this battery goes bad, I switch it out and then stick this into the wall. If you're going to record an event, such as a wedding or something, and you need a lot of photos, it's always a good idea to have more battery backups. This is a battery backup for this video camera here. So I have two batteries for that. And these batteries are actually larger, so they hold their charge longer. Oh, but they're not Sony, I think. I think they're generic. The one that came with it was much smaller. But because these are not made by Sony, what happens is the camera will say it doesn't recognize it. But you just have to know if it's charged or not. If it doesn't record, well, you know, it's not charged. So I have 2 of those, and the camera doesn't recognize it, but yet it'll run on it. So I also have a second digital camera, and this is by Canon, and it also takes good photos. For some reason, this camera is super light. It's so much lighter than that one, but I find this one, I've used it more, I'm more comfortable with it, and this one I'm slightly a little frustrated with it, and sometimes I can't get my computer to recognize the photos that are on it. So even though this is newer, I tend to not use this camera as much. So I have buku amounts of cameras, more camera than I probably need. Well, I would love to have a GoPro camera. That I don't have. I would love to have a drone camera. That I don't have. But when I take a trip, I will often take both cameras, because so I can give one to a friend or a family member and say, hey, take pictures. I'll take pictures. We'll each get our own perspective. And then we kind of combine them all together. This is a backpack where I keep all my spare camera equipment, so that, you know, if I take a trip and I want to pack all my cameras, I've got plenty of space to put all of my camera gear. I can put my camera in here. I can put my video camera in here. And it's a nice backpack. So, and I got this off of Amazon. You don't know what's in it. You don't need to have a camera that advertises, hey, I'm a camera. You could just have a bag. I have another camera, but this is for if I just want to carry this the regular camera. But I also have space to put the digital camera as well, because it's small enough. So this is often the case that I normally take. But if I'm going to a big event, I want a lot of photos. I pack almost everything in here. I will take these 2 bags with my camera equipment to the event, and that way I can squeeze both the digital cameras and the digital video cameras into the bags, and I'm ready to take pictures. We're talking about camera equipment. You must have a tripod. This is a fairly decent tripod, but I really would like something a little heavier, a little better, a little easier to use, and especially a lot taller. I need a bigger, stronger, taller tripod. Now I can raise this up. This can come up, but I still feel like I could use a bigger, nicer tripod. This is a very cheap, get what you pay for. It's lousy, I hate using it, it's not very tall. Yes, it can be taller than this. I have the legs down, it's got 3 attachments. But still, it's not even as tall as this one here. But it's very useful to have a tripod or 2. Because sometimes you just can't do it by yourself, and you have to have some help. And having a tripod is really helpful. Speaking of tripods, you've probably seen people using this ring light. You can mount your phone right here. I don't know if you can see. Let me zoom in a little. I'm using the tripod I hate. It's hard to adjust. But you can use your phone. Let me just wake up my phone so you can see that you can have your phone there. And you can adjust it. I can't turn it. Well, I guess I could. I guess I could move it up a little bit closer. But this is going to block part of the light as well. I'm not sure that I like this arrangement. One thing I like about this is that you can have so you can have light coming down on the thing that you're working on. That's useful. But here's the problem that I have with this thing. Problem is that when the light is on, where's the switch? It's very bright. Okay, see how it kind of blackened the background so you can't see anything? I mean, you can adjust the brightness and get it lower, but it blinds me. So I can't look in my camera to see whether or not I am working in the camera. It just blinds me. So it's so aggravating and frustrating to work with. It's not as harsh, it's not as bright, but then it kind of gives sort of an orangey, yellowish tint to everything. And so I find I don't use it. I prefer this, but I don't use it to sit in front of because I wear glasses. And if this light would reflect in my glasses. So if I'm in front of the camera and this is on me, then you're going to see the light, the circle, in my glasses, and I can't stand that. And that's also very blinding because it's very bright. Another option with this thing is we can take off, let me turn off the, we can take off this part so we don't use the camera of the phone. And another thing that works better for me is to take my tripod, adjust the height. I can put my tripod right behind it, and then I can have the advantage of having the light, and I can come behind it to look in it. But the problem again is I cannot look up here and look at my screen because this light is blinding me. So I can't tell if what I'm recording is in the screen or not. So I find the only use that this is good for is just when it comes down like this and it's laying, it's above my head and it's on the work that I'm doing, and that's all that it does for me. It comes in a nice little carrying bag where you can keep all of the cords and all the parts. And I have used it for photography jobs when I needed to, transport it. The whole thing disassembles and fits inside of here. So this is what I have settled on that seems to work the best for me. I mount my phone on the top, and I can adjust this up or down as needed. Just tighten it there. And this can be right down on where I'm working so that I can tell that, so that I can know that my surface is just a little aggravating working with a phone, because sometimes it's better to have it this way so that I can press record on my phone and sometimes, and then it wants to orient this way, that way, but I found out that whatever way I record it, I can flip it before I transfer it to my computer. But I got to remember to do that. So this seems to work for me. Now, I bought this thinking it'd be really awesome if I could connect my phone to the iPad. But that doesn't work because I don't use a special program. I use a free program that already comes with your computer. And so I use my laptop. With my laptop, I can use my charger cord and I can connect from my phone right into, and I'm going to try to set it up so you can see it. I have to have my phone on camera, actually on video, and then I open up QuickTime, which I keep it on my desktop because that's what I use a lot. Right click, new movie recording. Okay, we are looking at what my phone sees, okay? What my phone sees. We're looking at that device. All right, here's one of the problems that I have with it. I'm holding my phone landscape, but you are seeing the image, you know, portrait mode. And so that's one of the screwy things about trying to get this right. Right now we're looking at the ceiling. I'm going to put it like this, and right now we're going to look down. And put this right here, so we're looking at the computer, and I can, you know, I got my computer centered. I hit record on my phone, and it's going to record, but you can see that it is portrait mode. As long as what you're doing is in the camera, it's fine. So I'm going to hit stop, and then what I do is I take that video that's on my phone, and I'm looking at it this way, and it looks fine. But if I needed to, if I turn it that way, oh, it looks fine. It's landscape. And then I will share it. But I could, if I needed to, edit, and I'm just going to say it was the other way. Here is where I can flip it. So, see, I can flip it. Like if my image is upside down, I could, you know, flip it the way I need it. Always got to do that first. Okay, then what I would do is I would transfer this to through my computer, Debra's MacBook Pro, and it will send it to there, and then I can edit in the iMovie program there. So all of that is free. No special software program. The only thing I had to buy extra, I would really, really love it if it would work with the iPad, because this holds the iPad. But the problem with the iPad is that it doesn't have QuickTime. So then I'd have to buy a special program in order to hook my phone to the iPad, which that stinks. So anyways, I usually use it like this. That's sort of a counterweight, so my phone's not very heavy anyways. You can't put a camera on here, but you can put a phone on it. And I was hoping that I would have the ability to put my camera on it. This arm is adjustable. You can. There's a lot of different ways you can get it to move. And you can make it higher. You can adjust it however is needed. And I don't always have my iPad on here because really this is enough weight for my camera, because my camera is not heavy. It's just a little camera, little iPhone. So this works best for me. And the iPhone does have good quality camera as well. But I have to be careful of the memory. I have to make sure that I don't have all of the stream photos that are on my computer or that are on my laptop also on my phone, because then I have no more space to record videos. So what I do is, as soon as I've recorded a project on my phone, I transfer all the clips to either my desktop computer or the iPad or the laptop to edit. I have iMovie on my iPad. If I wanted to, I could edit a movie on the iPad, but I usually don't. And that works for when I'm doing craft projects or card making, where I need a camera that's above me, and being able to watch the video on my laptop allows me to see, yes, I'm in the camera. Yes, they're going to be able to see what I'm doing. Or, oh, maybe I need to zoom in a little bit more. And that's something I haven't quite figured out yet. Because sometimes I have to pause and I have to adjust things and lower this down to get a little bit closer to something. And so there's still some things I haven't quite figured out. I'm trying to find the best solution that works. You know, I see people complaining, I can't see what you're doing, you went off screen. And that's because it's really hard to stay in the view of the camera when you're the one doing all of the recording yourself and you have no help. You don't have a second pair of eyes. So having this ability is great for other type of recording when it's not like a project. I'm sitting down making a basket or doing a craft project. It works for that, but not for other things. iPad is also a camera, and I love it for its size because then I don't have to strain my eyes to see, and I can see that I'm getting a quality picture, that I'm in right focus. You can record video, and you can record. You can take photos, excellent photos, great for photography. Just that it's bigger, it's a little heavier. I kind of like the big size, and it does take high quality images, and it has the iMovie program on it, so you can actually edit videos with your iPad. So that's all my cameras. How many is that? I have one more camera to show you. Yeah, really. Do I think I have enough cameras? This right here. It's a charger, but really, it is a spy camera. I don't know if you can tell. There's a little dot. Sometimes the light catches it. There's a little dot right there. And if you needed to do a secret recording, like maybe you're having a conversation with somebody that you really would like, you could take this little device and say, hey, can I charge my phone? And you just plug it in, make sure that the camera is in a view, that little dot, you can't hardly tell. You can see it sometimes when I flash it. But yeah, there's a camera in there, and you can plug it into your computer, and you can download the contents of the camera into your computer, and so you can have that private conversation that you just needed it for a special reason. I don't do that. I haven't done that. Don't really find it super convenient because your camera, your outlet has to be eye level, so it works maybe for a kitchen, but most outlets are down on the floor, and so you might pick up the conversation, the sound, but you're not going to see much but people speak. So it's not super convenient. But yeah, that is also a camera, if ever a spy camera is needed. And that's all my camera equipment. This is a completely spontaneous video. I started with one thought and I just kind of expanded. So I hope you found that helpful.